The rain, slicked cobblestones of York, glistened under gaslights, their amber glow flickering like a heartbeat. Erin, 27. Hunched in her scarf, her boots splashing through puddles, a scream pierced the night. Her own, she realized, as the drone's red eye blinked above, filming her. The air smelled of wet stone and diesel, sharp and cold. Her pulse raced. She clutched her sketchbook, its leather cover rough against her palms. They'd found her again. Erin's studio was a cramped attic in a Georgian terrace. The minster's bells tolling faintly below. Her paintings glowed with impossible hues, emotions she saw in others' minds. Tonight, she painted a stranger's grief, her brush stroking sorrow into indigo swirls. The scent of turpentine stung her nose. Her phone buzzed. Erin's studio was a cramped attic in a Georgian terrace, the minster's bells tolling faintly below. Her paintings glowed with impossible hues, emotions she saw in others' minds. Tonight, she painted a stranger's grief, her brush-stroking sorrow into indigo swirls. The scent of turpentine stung her nose. Her phone buzzed. Erin, share your gift. You'd be famous. Her mother. Lisa, again. Erin's jaw tightened. She tossed the phone onto a threadbare rug. Downstairs. The kettle hissed, steam curling like a ghost. Erin sipped bitter tea, the cup's warmth seeping into her chilled fingers. She'd always hidden her ability to feel others' emotions. Joy sharp as lemon, fear like sour milk. York's history clung to her. The city's ancient walls whispered of Viking blood and Roman ghosts. She felt their echoes in passers-by, their moods bleeding into her art. A notification pinged. Her latest painting, Sorrow's Weight. Erin's stomach churned. She hadn't posted it. The attic's single bulb flickered, casting jagged shadows. Outside, a crowd's murmur grew. Fans, reporters, drones. The air thickened with their greed, a metallic tang on her tongue. She was trapped. Lisa's voice echoed from a call last week. You're wasting your talent. Erin, her mother's perfume, cloying rose, had filled the cafe where they'd argued. Lisa wanted Erin to monetize her gift, to let TrueLens broadcast her process. Erin refused. Her art was hers, not the world's. But someone had betrayed her. The canvas before her shimmered with betrayal's coppery glint. Erin fled to the shambles. Its timbered shops, leaning like conspirators, the streets smelled of fresh bread and damp wood. Her boots clicked on uneven stones. Each step a pulse, a drone whirred overhead, its lens glinting. She ducked into an alley, heart pounding, the cold brick grazing her elbow. A man's voice shouted. There she is. The chase was on. In her childhood, Erin had wandered York snowwills, feeling the city's pulse. Her father, a restorer at the minster, taught her to see stories in stained glass, saints' joys, sinners' fears. Now, those emotions flooded her, unbidden. A woman's laughter sparkled green. A child's tantrum burned red. She painted them all, her fingers sticky with paint, her throat raw from suppressing screams. TrueLens's logo glowed on every screen in York. Its slogan, "Show your truth, live forever," mocked her from billboards. Erin's latest painting had gone viral. Tagged number emotion switch. The platform's algorithm had sniffed her out. And now the world wanted her secrets. Her breath fogged in the chilly air, tasting of iron. She needed to disappear. At the Clifford's tower, Erin climbed the spiral stairs, the stone cool under her palms. The wind howled, carrying the scent of river mud and distant fires. Below, York's lights pulsed like a living thing. She felt the city's emotions. Hope, despair, greed swirling in her chest. Her sketchbook fell open, pages fluttering. She sketched the tower's silhouette, her pencil scratching like a heartbeat. Lisa's betrayal came into focus. Erin had caught her mother filming her studio last month. The camera's red light winking like a traitor's eye. Lisa's voice had been soft. "It's for your future." The memory stung, bitter as oversteeped tea. Erin's paintings were now auctioned online, her emotions commodified. She clenched her fists, nails biting into her skin. Erin's friend, Carl, was no better. He'd uploaded her painting, thinking it'd help her. His cologne, sharp cedar, lingered from their last meeting at a York pub, the Black Swan, over warm ale. He'd urged her to embrace fame. Now, his betrayal tasted like ash. The pub's folk music still rang in her ears, a mournful fiddle that matched her mood. She ran to the minster, its Gothic spires piercing the fog inside. Candle wax and old stone filled her lungs. The stained glass glowed, saints' faces alive with sorrow. Erin knelt, her knees pressing into cold marble, and whispered, "Help me hide." But the world's eyes were relentless. A drone's hum grew louder, its shadow crossing the altar. TrueLens offered her a contract. Live broadcast her painting, reveal her gift. The sum was staggering. Enough to buy freedom. Erin's fingers trembled, smudging charcoal on her sketchbook. The city's emotions roared in her head. A businessman's ambition, sharp as mint. A tourist's awe, soft as lavender. She couldn't paint without feeling them all. At a cafe on Stonegate, Erin met Lisa. The air smelled of espresso and rain. Lisa's eyes were red, her voice shaky. "I told TrueLens about your childhood," she admitted, stirring her tea with a clink. "I thought it'd make you a star." Erin's heart sank, heavy as wet wool. Her mother's love had twisted into greed, a sour note in her throat. Erin's paintings now hung in galleries labeled "The Emotions Witch." Critics raved, but their praise felt hollow, like biting into stale bread. She saw her work on TrueLens, distorted by filters. Her emotions sold for clicks. The platform's CEO, a slick Londoner, called her York's treasure. His voice grated, oily as fried fish. She in a friend's flat near Bootham Bar, the city gate's shadow cloaking her. The flat smelled of damp plaster and curry. Erin painted in secret, her brushstrokes frantic, capturing a stranger's rage, crimson and jagged. Her hands shook, paint smearing her cheeks. Outside, reporters knocked, their voices sharp as broken glass. Carl found her, his breath reeking of ale. "I didn't mean to hurt you," he said, eyes downcast. The room's dim light cast his face in shadow. Erin felt his guilt, heavy as wet earth. She forgave him. But the trust was gone, like a snapped violin string. The city's emotions pressed harder, a cacophony in her skull. TrueLens announced a live event, Erin's Truth Unveiled. They wanted her to paint live. Her emotions streamed to millions. The minster's bells tolled, a mournful clang. Erin stood in her studio, the air thick with turpentine and fear. She saw her father's face in a sketch, his pride, warm as honey. She couldn't let him down. The event was at York Racecourse. Floodlights, glaring like judgmental eyes. Erin stepped onto the stage, her boots scuffing polished wood. The crowd's emotions hit her. Curiosity, sharp as citrus. Envy, bitter as bile. Camera's word. Their lenses cold and unblinking. She lifted her brush, the handle smooth against her calloused fingers. She painted. Not for them, but for herself. The canvas exploded with colors. Grief in deep blue, hope in gold, rage in scarlet. The crowd gasped, their breaths a collective hiss. Erin felt their emotions shift, a tide turning. She painted their greed, a sickly green that burned her eyes. The air tasted of sweat and static. The platform servers crashed mid-broadcast, overwhelmed by data. Erin's painting had broken their algorithm, exposing the crowd's raw emotions. The stadium fell silent, save for a distant siren. She dropped her brush, paint splattering like blood. The scent of oil paint clung to her, grounding her. She'd fought back. Erin fled King's Staithe, the river Ouse reflecting York's lights like scattered stars. Her boots sank into muddy grass, the air damp and fishy. She tore her paintings from her sketchbook, letting them sink into the water. The river's chill kissed her fingertips. She was free, but for how long? Lisa found her at dawn, the sky bruised purple. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice cracking like dry leaves. Erin felt her mother's remorse, soft as chamomile. She nodded, but words failed her. The minster's bells rang, a solemn hymn. York's history wrapped around her, heavy as a wool cloak. Erin boarded a night train at York Station, the platform's iron tang sharp in her nose. The carriage smelled of stale coffee and leather. She clutched her sketchbook, its pages blank now. The train's rhythm rocked her, a lullaby of clacks and hums. Outside, the city faded, its lights blurring into streaks. Her reflection stared back from the window, eyes wide, searching. A pencil rested in her hand, its wood warm and familiar. A faint smile curved her lips, tasting of salt and possibility. The train sped into the dark. Erin wondered if she'd paint again, or if the world would let her.